Hello and welcome to News Now on TV360. I am Thelma Okoro. Britain's Prime Minister David Cameron has resigned after the UK voted to leave the European Union. Speaking outside 10 Downing Street, he said he would attempt to steady the ship over the coming weeks and months, but that fresh leadership was needed for the country. Cameron says he will remain as Prime Minister for the next 3 months, which is till October. 52% of voters had voted to leave the EU, while 48% voted to remain. London, Scotland, as well as Northern Ireland had all voted to stay back in the EU. Cameron said he had informed the Queen of his decision to resign from office. Cameron became Prime Minister of the UK following the election of a hung parliament in the 2010 general election. Britain is set to become the first country to leave the EU since its formation. But the leave vote does not immediately mean Britain ceases to be a member of the 28-nation bloc. That process could take up to a minimum of 2 years. Nigeria's House of Representatives have launched an investigation into the alleged diversion of funds in internally displaced persons camps. A report released by medical charity Medicine Sans Frontières had revealed that nearly 200 refugees fleeing Boko Haram militants have starved to death over the past month in Bama, Borno State, northeast Nigeria. In its plenary on Thursday, the reps directed its Committee on Emergency and Disaster Preparedness, AIDS, Loans and Debt Management to IDPs and Northeast Development to jointly look into the matter concerning the plight of the IDPs. The resolution followed a motion filed by Representative Ali Issa. The Nigerian government has insisted that the court must protect its witnesses in the trial against the former National Security Advisor Sambo Dasuki, retired. At resumed hearing on Thursday, lead counsel to the federal government, Oladipo Okpesheyi, again told the court that his witnesses may be in danger if they are not protected. He argued that the defendant was a well-known man in all spheres of Nigeria's military and that allowing the witnesses to testify in open court could result in grave danger to them. Reacting to the argument, Dasuki's lawyer, Joseph Daodu, prayed the court to dismiss the application as there was no basis for the allegations. After listening to both counsels, the judge adjourned ruling on the matter till September 13th.
They have any application in court, the opposing party has the right to oppose or agree with it, but they have opposed it, that on the ground that protecting the witnesses might hinder the right of fair hearing of the defendant, that they will not have the right to cross-examine and so on, which is their right, constitutional right. We said no, we are not asking that they should be barred from cross-examining the witnesses. I believe they should have the right, because it's their right to cross-examine the witnesses. Ours is to have these gentlemen who are still in service protected, but by necessary extension protecting their families and so on and so forth. And we believe it is the right thing to do. Advocacy or litigation is such that when a witness is in court, it becomes a witness of the court, because all he's doing in court is to give evidence to assist the court to get to the justice of the matter. So the court has a right to protect any witness when the court sees or feels that there is a need for protection.
Trial proceedings in court should be done in open, and that's guaranteed by the Constitution. And not only open, we should know as much as the witness as possible, so that we can test his veracity and assess his credibility. If you know nothing about the witness, you don't know whether he was just brought to tell things that are not true. So you need to be able to do background checks about the witness. And the minimum standard is that provided by the Constitution, which is that the public too should be able to make up their mind that the trial is fair. Not only fair, but seen to be fair. And that's why we're insisting on that. We're already handicapped. You've kept us in detention for the past 6 months without any trial. You've disobeyed orders for bail. Whoever we have offended has a conscience, and we have not been convicted for any offense. So what can we do from the custody of the DSS? Nothing. So why are they trying to screen witnesses? We don't talk to anybody. We are not allowed access to talk to anybody. Nobody can go and visit him. So what is the fear? Why are they making the trial so unbearably difficult for us. And that's a matter of human conscience. But we have left everything to the judge to rule.
New Zealand Prime Minister John Key has ruled out paying a ransom for a New Zealander abducted by gunmen in Cross River State south of Nigeria. While speaking at a press conference in Wellington, he said it is a long-held government policy not to pay ransom to kidnappers. He said the compromise would only put a bounty on the head of the New Zealander working in a volatile region and make the situation worse. The workers comprising 3 Australians, a South African, a New Zealander and 2 Nigerians were abducted when gunmen attacked their convoy and killed their driver. The workers were contractors for cement company Lafarge Africa. Spokeswoman for Cross River State Police Irene Ubo revealed that the kidnappers are yet to contact police or make any requests. Days after the People's Democratic Party (PDP) picked Ize Iyamu as its governorship candidate in the forthcoming election in Edo State, factional national chairman Ali Modu Sheriff has also fixed a date to conduct his faction's primary election. According to Sheriff, his faction's governorship primaries is slated for Wednesday, June 29th, while screening is also slated for Friday, July 1st. He also said the 3-man ad hoc delegate election is scheduled for Saturday, July 2nd, and the 3-man ad hoc delegate panel will sit on Monday, July 4th, 2016. The former Borno State governor said the primary election held by the McCarthy faction was not supervised by Nigeria's electoral body, which is the Independent National Electoral Commission. Meanwhile, the McCarthy-led faction of the PDP has accused Sheriff of working with his opponents to destroy the party. Reacting to the inauguration of a Congress committee for Edo election, Dayo Adeyeye, who is the spokesman of the Ahmed McCarthy-led caretaker committee, said Sheriff has proven that he does not mean well for the PDP. McCarthy faction also warned that any member of the party serving in any committee set up by the senator will be engaging in anti-party activities and will face disciplinary actions. PDP, which is Nigeria's main opposition party, has been embroiled in a leadership crisis for some weeks now. A group known as the Buhari Friends Organization Network has slammed Ekiti State Governor Ayodele Fayose for his accusation against the present government. The group says the governor is distracting the government from fulfilling his duties and has warned him to stop. The group also restated its support for President Muhammad Buhari, urging the government to keep up its fight against corruption.
Let him come forward. We challenge him with the facts. Let him come with facts to buttress his position. You know, this issue of research and investigation you are talking about. We are not foreclosing that. We want investigation to take place. Let him convince us. But what baffles you all and myself, because you are the media people, why is it taking so long? America itself is not mentioning this. Where is he getting his information other than baseless sources like Radio Biafra, I said earlier? Are you there? Because they are there for propaganda. Propaganda can be taken in so many dimensions. All attempt is to bring you down. Don't forget. The major essence of propaganda is always to bring you down. So our position as a support group that towed the line of his philosophy and principle in the area of our anti-corruption drive, that is what we believe in. This man should avoid unnecessary distractions so that the president can concentrate. If himself is not serious with governance, and in view of that, you have the backlog of salaries not paid in his state. Abi, that means he's not ready for governance at his own level. He should allow this one that is fully ready and committed to serve Nigerians well, in which you know Buhari is very, very ready. So in the issue of the APC and not being in governance, if you are bringing in, because that is an addendum here, it's not what I call this press conference for. But if I have to react on that, I still want to stand on that to further buttress my position and the position of Buhari friends that we are not sycophants, we are not spread-sinking government. I am standing and still speaking the minds of my colleagues. We are not happy even with the president for still allowing PDP, who have not appreciated him to be in his government. Because if they appreciated him well and thank him so much, in fact, it's funny and ridiculous for them not to appreciate him for not sacking them. Why is it that it's difficult for people to appreciate when people are doing good things? And it's only if there is any loophole. Abi, somebody will just capitalize on that and now start making issue with it. Why are they not thanking him for keeping PDP into offices at the expense of the APC?
Senators under Nigeria's ruling party, the All Progressives Congress, and an opposition party, Labour Party, have passed a vote of confidence on President Muhammadu Buhari. This comes barely 24 hours after members of the People's Democratic Party in the Senate say they have suspended their support for the APC government of President Buhari. The senators are Minority Leader Godswill Akpabio, Deputy Minority Leader Emmanuel Boacha, Minority Whip Philip Aduda, and his deputy Abiodun Olujimi. They blamed President Muhammadu Buhari's administration's belligerent attitude towards PDP members as a reason for withdrawing their support. Their position came as a response to the alleged plot to remove the Senate President Bukola Saraki and his deputy Ike Ekweremadu. We'll take a short break now. When we'll come back, we'll look at business stories. Don't go away.
Not in my country.
Hello, Alhaji. Right now I'm in Abuja. No. Hello, Adamu. Right now I'm in Kano. Yes. When I get back, I will just call you. Look, what is wrong with you? I'm talking on the phone and you are gesticulating and doing. What's wrong with you?
Daddy, where exactly are we as we speak?
Are you alright? This is Lagos.
Well, you just lied to someone that we're in Abuja.
Keep quiet there. Who told you you can tell an elderly person is lying?
Daddy, you just lied. And by lying, you're raising corrupt children for the future of Nigeria. That is corruption, not in my country.
Corruption not in my country.
Welcome back. You're watching TV360 News now. To business stories. Nigeria's naira is expected to remain steady against the US dollar days after a new interbank market opened. Traders say the naira could stabilize next week on increased dollar liquidity from month-end greenback sales by oil companies. The currency was quoted within the range of 282 to 284 to the dollar on the interbank market on Thursday. The naira has maintained that range since the reintroduction of the two-day quote by CBN on Monday. International ratings agency Fitch Ratings has downgraded Nigeria's issuer default rating to B+ from BB-. It added that the country's outlooks are stable. The issue ratings on Nigeria's senior unsecured foreign currency bonds have also been downgraded to B+ from BB-. According to Fitch, the downgrade of Nigeria's IDRs reflect the following key rating drivers in the country. Nigeria's main share index approached a 9-month high on Thursday. This came after it rose for a third straight day as investors poured cash into banking and consumer goods stocks. The stock market, which has the second biggest, climbed to 2.9% to 30,909 points, a level last seen on October 2nd. Stocks are up 5.2% so far this year, wiping out earlier losses since the CBN floated the naira this week and eased trading restrictions on the currency that caused foreign investors to flee the country. Oil prices slumped by more than 6% on Friday after Britain voted to leave the European Union. This has raised fears of a broader economic slowdown that could reduce demand for oil. Brent crude was down $1.91 at $49 per barrel, while US crude was down $48.25 per barrel. The vote to break with Europe is set to usher in deep uncertainty over trade and investment that fueled the rise of anti-EU movements across the continent. Analysts have said that once the market focuses on fundamentals, oil was likely to fall given abundant stocks around the world, which are shrinking very slowly despite large production outages in countries like Nigeria. Britain's economy was plunged on Friday as the country moved towards the EU exit, with the world economy bracing for a hit on growth and unemployment. Financial markets on Friday indicated the turbulence that lies ahead for the world's fifth biggest economy, with the pound falling to its lowest level against the dollar since 1985. The Conservative government of Prime Minister David Cameron, who campaigned for Britain to remain, warned in a report prior to Thursday's vote that it could take more than a decade for the UK to negotiate both an exit from the bloc and new international trade deals. The report said Britain now faces a long period of uncertainty that could last a decade, with heavy consequences for British businesses, trade and inward investments. South Africa's High Court on Friday said Jacob Zuma had no grounds to appeal against a court ruling that corruption charges against him should be reinstated. The same court had in April ordered a review of a 2009 decision by the National Prosecuting Authority to set aside hundreds of charges against Zuma. It was not immediately clear if the president would appeal Friday's ruling. Moving on to sports stories now, Nigeria's Super Eagles will on Friday know its group stages opponents for the 2018 World Cup qualifiers as the draw holds in Cairo. The Eagles, who are currently ranked 61 in the world and 12th in Africa, are in Port 2 and may be drawn alongside either Cote d'Ivoire, Tunisia, Ghana or Senegal, who are all placed in Port 1. 5 groups will all have 4 teams, each playing opponents home and away from October 2016 to November 2017. The winners of each group will represent Africa at the 2018 World Cup in Russia. Nigeria have appeared in the finals of the FIFA World Cup on 5 occasions, the first being in 1994, where they reached the second round and made their 5th appearance at the finals in the 2014 FIFA World Cup in Brazil. Algerian club Setif have been expelled from the CAF Champions League following the violence that marred its opening group stage match. The team was playing against South African side Mamelodi Sundowns when the incident occurred. CAF said in a statement that the referee had abandoned the match due to the pitch invasion and after spectators and security personnel had been injured by missiles, stones, bottles and firecrackers. Under competition rules, any match halted because of violence leads to disqualification of the home team. The result of the match was wiped out and the group has now been left with 3 teams, which is the Sundowns, Eimba of Nigeria and Egypt's Zamalek. The top 2 advance to September semi-finals. Kenyan and Russian athletes who want to compete at this summer's Olympics have now been given a deadline of 11 days to prove they are clean from doping. Both countries are currently suspended from competing at Rio 2016 following a recommendation from the World Anti-Doping Agency. However, IOC President Thomas Bach has said the country's athletes could perform at the Olympics if they can prove they are clean and free from doping. The IAAF has now published a new guideline for the athletes. It says evidence must be sent to the IAAF by July 4th, 2 weeks before the Rio 2016 qualification deadline of July 18. Well, that's all we have on news now. We thank you very much for watching. I am Thelma Okoro.